Hello, my beautiful buds. Welcome back to my channel, Sprouts with Joy. My name is Joy, and if you like to talk about plants, you're in the right place. What did you just do? My cat just started... What are you doing? Oh my gosh. Okay, that's fine. Anyways, I'm going to be filming this video over the course of probably a couple of months because I have a... Oh my word. Because I need to make over some plants. Oh. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do multiple plants in this video or just one plant for this video, but we'll see. We'll see what I have time to do. So today is July 6th. I anticipate that this video will probably come out hopefully by the end of the summertime, but I guess we'll see. But this right here is my Hoya villosa, and I really love this Hoya, but I think I talked about this recently. I think that I want to chop it up and kind of start it over again. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh my gosh, child, what is your deal? My cats are just like jumping and running around everywhere. Oh my word. But as much as I love this plant, it just, I don't know, something about it. It's not growing the way that I want it to. A lot of the leaves are like kind of misshapen or small. I think at one point this definitely had flat mites. I think that they're gone now, hopefully, but it still doesn't seem that happy. I think it also might benefit from actually being in lower light because right now it's in a south-facing window. So all that being said, I want to chop it up and start it over, and then also start growing it maybe in a west-facing window or an east-facing window, something like a little bit more chill than a straight-up south-facing window. And I also just want it to grow differently. I want to maybe get it to be like a little bit more full and bushy rather than whatever this is. So yeah, let's get to chopping it up. Ah! So yeah, I'm gonna chop up my Hoya villosa today and start the propagation process. I'm a little bit nervous to do this because I really do love this plant, like I said before, but I think it's gonna be okay. I think I'm just gonna pretty much chop at each leaf, and you know, that will hopefully kind of set off its own separate growth point. The nice part about Hoya is that they can root up along the whole stem. So there's the first cut right there, and yeah, they tend to leak a lot of sap. So that's why I have this rag here. Yeah, see, like this leaf is just so small. I just don't like it when the leaves aren't uniform. This is a pretty decent looking leaf, but it still looks different from like the first leaves I started out with. If you want to compare them, I don't know, it's like even the shape and the shade of them is a little bit different. And I think I kind of want to get back to this shape. I prefer it. Okay, here's where it kind of gets messy down at the bottom here. I don't know. I can't decide if I want to like chop it up entirely all the way down here or if I want to leave this portion. I don't know what I want to do. This is about what the plant looked like when I first got it, actually. I think that this leaf was the first leaf that it gave me. I think I'll start off with this because this is like a nice starting point for the plant. And then if I want to add more to the pot with these propagations, I can do that, right? Yeah, I think that's what I'm leaning towards. So I'm also just propagating it in sphagnum moss, and I'll probably end up putting it in my greenhouse cabinet is my guess. Pretty straightforward. Actually, I don't like the way that I'm doing it. I'd rather do it this way. My cat has continued to be feral right now. These leaves are fitting very awkwardly. But I don't know, as long as they're like in the moss, I'm not too worried about it. Even though it's not really gonna look pretty. All right, that doesn't look pretty at all, but I think it's functional. So, all right, well, let's begin the process. This is what it looks like on July 6th, and I'm hoping that it roots up well for me, and then I'll be able to pot them together. Okie dokie. See you whenever. Hello, it's been quite a while since I filmed for this video, like at least a month. Today is August 11th, and I actually don't even remember the exact date that I started filming this video. And I have another plant that I need to make over. So I know that by doing this, I'm kind of like pushing the timeline a little bit in terms of these plant makeovers, because now I have one plant, the Hoya velosa, is honestly nearly ready to be potted up again. But alas, I need to do something about this plant, so let's talk about it. I don't have all of it in the frame, but this right here is my Monstera Peru, and yeah, we got problems. I really should have filmed this portion of the video a couple of weeks ago when this first happened, but I just have not had time. But look, do you see? Originally, this plant was in a terracotta pot, but for unknown reasons, I woke up one morning and the pot was shattered on one side. Couldn't tell you what happened. I honestly have absolutely no clue. Yeah, so I just kind of had to triage the situation, put it in a plastic pot just to kind of hold things together. And again, I really haven't had the time to deal with it. I've been wanting to do something with my Monstera Peru because I just don't like the way that it's growing. So like, I already wanted to do a makeover of it, but I just was sort of putting it off, procrastinating it. And I've decided, you know what? I'm filming this video anyways. This just happened. I just need to do something. Part of the reason that I've been hesitant to do anything with this plant is that, in my experience, Monstera Peru is very challenging to propagate. It doesn't always work, and so I am a little bit fearful that, let me just say that this is just a risky undertaking. So, you know, I'll cut it up. I think I'm gonna chop up the whole thing, actually. I know that there's no guarantee that it's actually going to work. Another issue that I'm encountering right now is that because half the pot is gone, it's drying out really, really quickly for obvious reasons. I mean, it's exposed to more air, the roots are exposed to the air. And so like, it is a little bit limp, and admittedly, like, these are not at all ideal circumstances to propagate a plant. Again, I just didn't have the time to deal with it until now, and it's been declining. And yeah, it like won't really hold on to moisture the way that it needs to. So yeah, we got all kinds of issues, and I'm gonna chop it up and hope for the best, cross my fingers, pray. It will take that at least some of these cuttings, I mean, even if half the cuttings die and half of them remain, I think that's enough to make a substantial plant. The other thing, yeah, I think I want it to be like a bushy plant rather than climbing, because I don't know, I want to switch things up. I don't really like the way that it looks anymore. I don't know if it's because I'm getting bored of it or if it just genuinely, it has put off a lot of runners that I've had to trim, and for a while I had it also kind of going up the wall a little bit, but I'm just not a fan anymore. I want it to be different. So I know that's a little bit convoluted. I hope that I explained that well. I feel like I got distracted by a few other points, but the main idea is I've been wanting to do something with this plant anyways, and I still couldn't tell you exactly why the pot was broken. My best guess is, I mean, I have 2 young children, so maybe they threw a toy and it just like hit it in the right spot and broke it, or like, I honestly can't, I have no idea. I have no idea what happened. But yeah, let's figure this out together. I honestly will probably like unpot the whole thing, because obviously it's in a broken pot, so I'm gonna need to figure out what to do with the base of the plant, maybe repot that first, and if anything, that will be the most salvageable part, I'm sure, and then yeah, I'm gonna chop it up. I might do multiple propagation methods, we'll see, because yeah, in the past, like I've said, it's been very hit or miss as to whether or not it works. But all right, let's see what happens. I guess I'll start from down here. Theoretically, I could make wet sticks from, you know, these runners that are kind of bare, but I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna keep these leaf cuttings. This one's pretty damaged, so I'm gonna leave that. And then I'm gonna cut off extra stem. But yeah, like see how limp that is? Like that is very concerning to me that it's just not gonna take well because it's not like fully hydrated. But you know, it's okay. I'm just hoping for the best. I'm just gonna take it off the pole. I feel like that'll be the easiest. Well, I like to put these plant Velcro pieces aside and use them later. I mean, you can reuse these indefinitely. I will say it did kind of root into this pole once upon a time in one small section, maybe two small sections. Yeah, I also don't like this pole in general. Like it's kind of moldy now. If I'm being completely honest, I feel like Monstera Peru is one of those plants that I used to love, but I really have not been a fan of it for a long time. I think part of it is just because of the way that it has grown for me has not been amazing. I don't know if I ever, you know, maybe I just like didn't crack the code on what it wanted from me, but I don't know. Also just something about it feels slightly lackluster. I just have not been attracted to this plant in a long time, which frankly is really sad to me because when I first got this plant, I mean, this was one of the first more uncommon plants that I got. I bought it very early on. I think this plant was featured in my first video I ever filmed on this channel because I got it alongside my Syngonium albo at Groovy Plants Ranch. And that was like my very first debut video on YouTube. Don't watch it because it's not great, but I don't know. I have some sentimentality attached to this plant. Yeah, these are goners, so I'm gonna just take that. Honestly, these bottom leaves also just don't look good, so I'm not gonna bother with them. But there is one like baby plant in here that I potted in here a while back that really never went anywhere. I think it's given me one new leaf or something that's really kind of pitiful. So, but I might just kind of take that out and pot it up into soil, and if anything, maybe that one will survive. But the rest, yeah, I mean, even this like just does not look very good. Ugh, what a bother. I mean, I'll still pot it up into like a tiny pot, but like these roots did not really take to the soil very well, which is a bit of a shame. I guess theoretically I could keep the base of the plant here. Maybe I will, just because it has so many roots. And again, since this plant is more of a challenge to root up, I do want to keep this plant. I don't feel like going out and buying a new one. And again, there is some sentimentality associated with this plant. So like, yeah, honestly, this root system doesn't even look that great, if I'm being completely honest, which makes sense as to why it hasn't been thriving. Yeah, I'll pot this up separately, maybe honestly together with this, into soil, into a small plastic pot. So I need to go do that. I'll dispose of this soil and yeah, kind of set these aside, and then I'll address all of the cuttings. All right, I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee and then set it far, far away, because it's happened to me too many times where I was doing plant chores and I had my coffee right there, I was enjoying it, and then soil got into my coffee. And we don't like soil in our coffee. No, we don't. So frankly, if you're anything like me and you have to have a beverage with you at all times, this is a PSA for you, that whenever you're doing this and you have coffee or tea or liqueur or whatever it may be, just enjoy it, but have a reasonable distance between your beverage and your stuff, because yeah, we don't want plant matter or soil in our beverages. I think that's pretty obvious. Oh my gosh, not gonna lie though, this is actually really good. It's like just a regular latte, so whole milk and espresso, and I added in brown sugar this time instead of, you know, normally I go for chocolate syrup to make a mocha, or just kind of plain sugar or like simple syrup or whatever, but brown sugar in coffee is like really good. Something about it is just so nice. Anyways, it is time to pot up this plant. I will say, I feel like I've been saying this a lot recently, that it feels so good to finally get this done, because I've been so behind on everything in life, including plant chores and everything. Every time I sit down to finally work on these things that I've been putting off, oh my goodness, it feels so good to finally be getting this done because I've been haunted by this plant. I actually moved it to the bottom of the stairs because I got a Monstera alba recently, and I basically put that in the spot where this Monstera Peru used to be because I knew I wanted to do something with the Monstera Peru and that I was gonna be switching things around, and I needed a good spot for the Monstera alba. I mean, that was a big priority. So yeah, I moved this and it's been at the base of the stairs for at least 3 weeks now. And the entire time I've just been like, just eyeing it. Like every time I come down the stairs, it's just looking at me, taunting me.
Girl, you haven't done what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I just try to quiet those voices because I have too many other things to worry about as well right now, that like I can't afford to let myself get super bothered by every little nagging thing. But I will say that when I am finally able to address the problem and solve it and get it done, check that box, mwah, there is no feeling quite like it. Yeah, I mean, this does not look great, but it's done. This part is done. So I'll water this in and it's gonna be hopefully recovering. I mean, I do genuinely hope that this plant makes a comeback. So frankly, I'm kind of halfway tempted to actually soil propagate some of these. Why not? So this is one of the leaves. I fully expect this to perish and not work. But if I already have soil and I already know that like this plant is harder to propagate, I mean, hey, may as well try a bunch of different methods and hope for the best, right? I'm just gonna pick 2, maybe. How about 2? And again, I fully expect this to crash and burn and not work. But you know what? I've got nothing to lose because I have plenty of cuttings here, and we're gonna try everything. I'm gonna water this in and I'll be back to do the moss. Okay, I'm just gonna put all of these in this vessel. I recently was propagating something else. I think I had a bunch of out-of-bat points in this, but I actually filmed a video yesterday where I was going through my prop boxes and cleaning them out, and that also felt really good. Honestly, yeah, I'm kind of on a roll because I have not filmed a lot recently, but I did film yesterday and now I'm filming today. We're getting things done. Look at us. And now I actually have room in my prop boxes for this plant because I just cleaned out my prop boxes. So like, that's wonderful. I'm gonna zoom in so that you can look at the plant a little bit more. Okay, actually, I might try to be a little bit more selective about like what I put where. So these leaves in particular are a bit more pliable. I'm trying to decide, maybe I should put these leaves in a water propagation situation. My reasoning is that they will have more immediate access to water maybe. I don't know, maybe that's backwards, but like the leaves that look worse off maybe should go in water. I don't know. Honestly, yeah, I don't even know how many cuttings we have here, but it's a lot. It's definitely at least like maybe 15. So this is like a little bouquet. So this is water propagations. I haven't filled it with water yet, but I will. And then right here, these guys get to join the moss party and they'll go in my prop box, which again is fully clean and nearly empty, which is really nice. I've got to say, I mean, by the time I post this, the Olympics will be like far gone and probably like out of our minds, out of our memory. Like we're not going to be worried about it anymore. But where I'm from in the timeline, the Olympics have actually they're just wrapping up. I think today is the last day maybe, which honestly makes me genuinely sad. I love Olympic season. I have some really tender memories associated with it. When my dad had cancer and I was like 9 years old, that was in 2008 during the Beijing Olympics. And so I just have a lot of fond memories of just watching the Olympics with my dad. And ever since then, I've just loved watching the Olympics every single time it comes on, like every 4 years. Well, if you count Winter Olympics, every 2 years as well, but still, I just love it. And my favorite is definitely gymnastics. I like other things too, but I don't know. I'm kind of basic in that way. I love watching gymnastics. I've just been thinking how much I kind of wish that I had gotten into gymnastics when I was a little kid, because I think I might have been pretty decent at it. Nowhere near like Olympic level. Yeah, I definitely shamelessly like went outside and taught myself to do cartwheels and handstands after watching the gymnastics this year, because I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be a gymnast, and I want to find an adult gym or a place where I can get gymnastics lessons even as a 26-year-old. So I don't know, maybe that dream will come true. But does anyone feel the same way sometimes, that like, man, if only I got into that when I was a little kid, maybe I could have not been an Olympian, but like maybe been good at it? Because some of those sports are kind of niche, or at least not super common. I mean, I feel like rugby looks like so much fun, but I did not know anyone that was playing rugby where I grew up. Anyway, that was kind of a silly aside, because that's just something that I've been thinking about recently. Again, by the time this video comes out, it's not really gonna be relevant anymore, or at least like not to the same level that it is right this second, because yeah, my social media feeds are just filled with the Olympics and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna put some water in here, and then I'll kind of show you the end result. Then we'll move on to the next time I end up filming for this video. Okay, so right here is a bunch of cuttings in moss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I believe, which is kind of a lot to have in one thing of moss. But again, I'm kind of expecting a lot of these to not root up. So I'll just have to check on this pretty frequently to root out the ones that maybe they're rotting or just like aren't doing anything. But this is what it looks like. It's moistened, and you know, if you're wondering how much to moisten your moss, this is honestly maybe even a little bit too much. There is like some water at the bottom, but I haven't had too much trouble with plants rotting. Maybe I will. I'm gonna drain a little bit of the water. Yeah, but the moss itself is pretty much fully saturated. And then yeah, I am draining out a little bit of the excess right now that has fallen to the bottom. So now it's very moist, but it's not a bunch of standing water. And then, yep, this is filled to the brim with water here. And I'll just have to, you know, switch out the water periodically, top it off, that sort of thing. Just give it some fresh oxygen. And honestly, like this leaf right here is probably the nicest looking one that I've got. It's really quite large, which is nice. Look how pretty. A lot of these leaves also had dust on them, so I took the liberty of rinsing the dust off. And then right here is the third iteration with soil. So these two don't have any roots. These two do have roots, albeit very lackluster root systems. So honestly, yeah, I feel so great to have that done. This I'm putting in the prop box. This, I guess I could also put this one in the prop box because I have the room, and I mean, why not? Give it some extra humidity, give these cuttings a chance to root up, just maybe a better fighting chance. And then these, I'll just find a window or something to stick them into. That's so nice to have that done. But anyway, I will see you very soon, hopefully within the next few weeks. Honestly, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna end this here. Hang on. Sorry, that was a little bit abrupt. I just realized that I should show you my Hoya villosa and give you an update on that because I have updates to show you. But honestly, yeah, this plant is probably very much ready to pot up very, very, very soon, if not right now. But I think I just want to give it a little bit more time, and then hopefully, Lord willing, I'll have enough time to pot it up and film that whole process sometime in the next week or two, but we'll see. So this right here is my Hoya villosa that obviously you saw I propagated earlier. Frankly, I can't even remember when I started filming this video. It was such a long time ago, I feel like. And the summer has just been so busy. As you can see, there's a lot of new growth. The growth looks a little bit, just a little bit wonky. So right here is a new leaf that's emerging and still, I'm guessing, hardening off. And then right here is another new leaf. Do you see that? Yeah, so it's got at least 2 new leaves, some new growth points as well, which is very fun and good to see. We love to see that. There's another growth point right here. I don't even know if you can make that out, but it's like right there, maybe, yeah. And it's rooting. So right here's a root. There's some roots coming out the bottom actually, which is less ideal because I want those to stay in the pot. But like, it looks like it's reasonably rooted. And actually, oh my gosh, hang on, there's another new growth point down here. Oh, that is just whack. Hang on. I might take this out and like put it back in because it's a little bit, I mean, the roots are coming at the bottom and there's some new growth going on like in the moss. So let's resituate this and kind of see what's going on here. I hesitate to bother it, but also it's being a little bit weird. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of pull this out and hope that I don't harm it in any way. Okay, that seemed like that was pretty clean. So here, let me show you what I just saw that made me do this. Look at this. Do you see? There's 2 new leaves right here that were just kind of growing against the side of the pot, and I don't want that to be the case. I want them to be in a better circumstance than that. I want them to not be smushed against the plastic. So I'm going to very, very gently. I mean, overall, what I'm seeing is this looks very much like a success, but it also seems a little bit messy. Yeah, there's a whole new growth point that just started here. How wild is that? Like, honestly, I think that this is going very well for the most part. Oh my gosh, and there's another new growth point. Dude, like there's one right here. I don't know how well you can see because it's very, very small. But I mean, it looks like this plant is doing really well. It's very promising. I just hope that when I pot it up and kind of take it out of the super high humidity of the prop box, that it will continue to be successful. But frankly, I mean, if it wants that high humidity and if that's what's gonna make it succeed, I might just keep it in the greenhouse cabinet long term, like once I pot it up and everything. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I mean, all these roots are super tangled, so I'm gonna have a really fun time when I fully disassemble it. I guess I better mentally prepare myself for that. I'm wondering if I should pot some of these up, like separate them a little bit, just because maybe they're gonna need more space down the line. But also, it's kind of gonna be a pain to deal with. Okay, very gently. All right, so here's another section. So maybe these 2 plants, I can find another container to put them in separately, and that way they all have a little bit more room to breathe, because the way that it is right now, it's just a chaotic mess, which was fine when they weren't all growing, but now I suspect that this is going to be a similar issue to what I've got with the Monstera Peru, you know, having so many cuttings in one thing. But it's just more convenient to have them all in one container initially, rather than having to juggle multiple containers. I will admit, it's like a little bit lazy of me. So that's looking a little bit more reasonable. I've got actually right here, oh, that's so nice. I've got a little plastic cup that I can just stuff this into. Oh, there's 2. Come on, there we go. This might be kind of a lot of moss for 1 cup, but I'm just trying to be a little bit gentle so that I don't smush the roots too much. All right, does that look okay? I think so. That gives these more room to breathe and become proper full leaves. I'm honestly so encouraged that my Hoya villosa is propagating so well and has so many new growth points. I mean, admittedly, some of the growth does look like a little bit weird, but like, we'll have to see. I mean, they're still pretty early on in their growth, so I want to give them a fighting chance and hope that it works out. But anyway, I'm going to end this portion of the video there, and I will see you again whenever I see you. Hello! Okay, it has been so long since I filmed for this video. I don't even remember the last time I filmed for this video, but I'm pretty sure I said that the last time that I filmed for this video. So yeah, my memory is trash right now, apparently. But it is November 9th, so I'm like way beyond, I think, what I was hoping I would be done with this video. But I'm pretty sure this is gonna be the last time that I'm filming because all the plants, I believe, are ready to be potted up, all the propagations, and I'm very excited. Okay, I do have some good news. Well, first of all, don't mind how dark it is because it's like 4:30 p.m. and the sun is already like setting. It's like twilight and it's absurd, but we're rolling with it. It's fine. So much has changed since the beginning of this video. But let's see. I think I'm gonna pot up the Monstera Peru first and just show you how all the propagations look, and hopefully we're gonna have like a really, really nice looking makeover at the end here. I'm gonna be real with you. This is the most successful I have ever been with propagating Monstera Peru. I'm honestly shocked. So this was the bottom of the plant. You remember, if you recall, I kind of chopped it up. Obviously, I feel like you probably remember better than I do because you saw it like 5 minutes ago. Yeah, I chopped that up. This is like the bottom of the plant, and I put it in the prop box, and my goodness, it has taken off. Look at how much growth we've gotten. Look at how big these leaves are. This plant loved being in the prop box so much. Like, here's another new leaf. Oh my goodness. Totally took off. So this is a fantastic start. But even beyond that, I don't think that all of these cuttings rooted, but at least some of them did, because I see some roots. But you know, like this leaf right here, definitely, like this cutting did not take. So that's pretty typical. I was expecting that with Monstera Peru. Not all of them are going to take. But then these are the water propagations. They were not in high humidity or anything. I just kind of set them on the counter. And we do have some roots and new growth. See that? So all very good things, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and pot it up. I think we're going to go in this plastic pot and then put it in this basket. That's what I'm going for. And then I am really curious to see how these roots look, because I don't know that all of them rooted up, but at least some of them did. These are technically roots, but they're a little bit feeble. See, I was so excited. Not rooted. What on earth? What rooted up then? There's definitely something that rooted up in here. That's so strange. There's something here. Hang on, we'll find it. Okay, this has like some more roots. Okay, so these roots are not nearly as good as I was wanting them to be. Here I was all excited. So I saw roots growing in here, but they're just not as substantial as I thought they were maybe. I mean, again, Monstera Peru, they don't often take. Okay, this is much better. This is more what I was expecting, I think. See? So that's like fairly well rooted. That's good. But yeah, this one did not root up, nor did this one, but this one did. Okay. Okay, well, so that's about what I expected actually, but it's not bad. I got 3 cuttings here that are fairly well rooted. The rest of them just didn't take for some reason. And that has a tiny root. It's just not very substantial. And this one also has like a little bit of a root. So yeah, maybe I'll pot this up too. I'll just pot up all the ones that have visible roots, and maybe these 2, I guess I'll decide at the end if I want to try to propagate them, maybe in water. They still look lively, just not rooted. So that's a good start. Let's see what these look like. There's new growth and I can see some roots. Okay. I think, did all of these root up? It appears that they all rooted up and have new growth. So that's really good for Monstera Peru. These all look great. Got loads of cuttings there. My only concern is obviously the transition between water and soil can be a little bit tricky. This honestly looks the best of all, but we already went over that. So let's see here. It's a great start. Oh. Although it looks like whatever this was did not root up. So I'll also set that aside. Oh, were these the like soil propagations? Oh, I guess I forgot. Yeah, so like I had put like the ones that had roots already, like those did really well, but like the soil propagations that or like, you know, the ones I threw in there, yeah, they did not take. So makes sense. That's about what I expected. But okay, these are great though. I'll put these kind of in the center. Here, let's add maybe a smidgen of soil to get these more stable. And then kind of around the perimeter, I want to add in the other cuttings. This is looking like it's going to be a super full plant, which is wonderful. That's what I wanted. Hopefully you can see what's going on because the sun is setting as we speak. And I've got the grow light on, so the light is like a little bit yellowish, but alas, Welcome to almost winter. It's okay. The solstice is like a month and a half away, and that's when it starts to get light again. Okay. These look a little bit crazy, but hopefully once I add the soil, it will turn out better. Okay, wow. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Okay, so here's like not in the basket. It's so nice and full. That's exactly what I was wanting out of this plant. I'm obsessed. I love just kind of bringing new life to it. I'm so happy about that. And then in this little basket, it's just the cutest. I'm obsessed. I love that. Okay, and now really quickly before the sun sets on us, we've got to do Hoya villosa, which if I'm being honest with you, the mother plant has been looking super rough recently. It does have some new leaves coming in, but you know, I've been keeping up with the watering, but it just dries out so quickly. So I am a little bit worried that I might have dry rot or root rot or something, or maybe it's just ready for a repot. I don't know, but that's a good thing because we're about to repot the plant anyways. And I'm thinking this terracotta pot, but we'll see what the root system looks like. These are what the propagations are looking like right now. And you know, there's a lot of new growth, which is good. And it looks like decent root system, probably. I'm hoping, it seems. It's been in the prop box for a really long time, so I'd be shocked if it was not in good shape. But I am a little bit worried that this plant might have flat mites because of how like weird and wonky the growth has been. I'm gonna treat it for flat mites, but I can't do it right now because I have to do something right after filming this video. I'm gonna repot it and kind of call it as the makeover, I guess, but just know that I do intend to treat it more vigorously for flat mites just to see if that helps with the situation. But very quickly, let's repot it. First things first, let's just see what's going on with the root system. I mean, it came out like all in one unit, which usually tells me that it's fairly well rooted. I mean, yeah, there's lots of roots evidently, so that's a good sign. Yeah, see, good roots. This moss really does not want to come off of this plant, goodness. And the roots are also really tangled. So I don't know how much I'm realistically gonna be able to pull off, but good root systems. Let's see, what about this one? Yeah, these also turned out to be well rooted. Okay, and now to see what's going on with this plant. Okay, that's what I feared. I think it's dry rot, which is very frustrating. Totally dry rot. Oh my gosh. Look at that. That is so bad looking. It does have a new growth point, as I mentioned before. So, okay, it's not the worst case I've ever seen. Like the roots are still intact. A lot of them are, but it's going to need some pretty substantial rehydrating. So I think that it's still salvageable for sure. I just need to get it repotted ASAP and rehydrated, and hopefully that will kind of save it. It was drying out so quickly because of the sun. So this is in a south-facing window, and in the winter time, the sun kind of gets a lot lower in the sky. So the south-facing windows in the winter become a lot more intense, and I think that it just dried out quicker than I was used to, and I just didn't adapt to the watering well enough. So that's kind of my fault, but I think I just let it go a little bit too long between waterings. But thankfully, Hoya, I feel, are pretty resilient when it comes to that sort of thing, like underwatering, generally speaking. I have lost some Hoya to dry rot in the past though, so I take it seriously, but Okay. At least we've got a lot of Hoya villosa now. I'm just trying to arrange it so that it looks halfway decent. But it's a little tricky because it's a little bit of like a gangly plant. I'm also rushing because of the sun going down. I'm trying to decide if I'm okay with that or not, because that's a little... I don't know. I don't know if I like that. Let me try one more time. I never did decide if I want to like trellis this or not. I don't think so. I mean, she looks a little bit awkward, not gonna lie. I can't say I'm entirely pleased with how it looks at the moment, but maybe she'll grow on me. Oh, I don't know, guys. I'm just running out of time because of the sun setting. I don't want to like do a poor job for this makeover. I mean, I am glad that I propagated it. It's just, I think part of the reason is that, you know, it came out with so much gangly growth that it's just like a little bit on the awkward side, but I feel like no matter what I do, it's gonna be a little bit awkward. So I'm gonna call this one like a semi-fail. Like it's not horrible. And I was successful in propagating it, which is good. But since the growth came in wonky, and if I'm being frank, like I did not do a great job of potting this all together. It's a little bit iffy, but we'll see how it grows in. And if anything, I can always do another makeover later. But I'm like medium pleased with this one. Honestly, my Monstera Peru, I am absolutely adoring and in love with. This one it might need to grow on me a little bit because it's a bit messy. And maybe I will wind up trellising it and that might help. I don't know. We shall see. It's an interesting plant, and the wonky growth that might be due to flat mites is not helping the situation, but it is fuller than it was before. So that's a win. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video, going on this little journey with me. This video took a really long time to film. Like it happened over the course of a very long time. So I'm honestly really happy to finally be done with it. But yeah, if you like this video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. All those things are super helpful for my channel. And I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day. Bye-bye.